guys, welcome back to our channel. It's zonal marking with you today again.
Yeah, and thank you to all the new subscribers. We really appreciate your guys' support. And today we have a video because a lot of fans have been DMing us on Instagram about this one. They wanted us to make a future prediction lineup for the teams in the Euros, and most of the requests were about the Turkish national team, so we thought we'll just start with that. And by the way, if you guys want to request us to make another national team, just DM us on Instagram. We'll leave the @ down below in the link. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and now we have an Instagram account, so make sure you guys follow us on Instagram to get the latest football news and updates.
And give us suggestions on future videos. Thank you. We really want to be having you interacting with the content that we're going to be uploading. But yeah, so now we're going to start with the Turkish national team. For this team, we chose a 3-1-4-2 formation. It's a really complex, kind of a little bit attacking formation with the 2 strikers and 4 midfielders, and there's a little bit support from the defensive midfielder. But yeah, so we're gonna start out with the goalkeeper. We have Mert Günok. He is a Turkish goalkeeper, 31 years old. He plays in the Turkish league. He is the first team goalkeeper for the national team, having made 9 appearances, and throughout those 9 appearances he's made 24 saves, which is a good solid number. He's a really experienced goalkeeper. Now moving on to the defensive 3, they have a really good defense. They have 3 top-class defenders who are all young. And yeah, do you want to start out with one of them?
Yeah, first one is Kaan Ayhan. He plays for Fortuna Düsseldorf in Bundesliga. He's a very good defender. He is very reliable and he is very strong. He's quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's made 9 appearances in the national team and having scored 3 goals, which is really good for a center back.
Yeah, so he made a big impact for the national team, yeah.
Yep, and now moving on to the other center defender, we have Mert Demiral from Juventus. He's a great young player. He's clearly from Turkey. And yeah, he's had his breakthrough season this year. He plays for Juventus, and we saw him actually playing over Matthijs de Ligt sometimes, and the fans of Juventus really love this guy.
Yeah, and as we know, de Ligt started very slow in the beginning of the season, and then Sarri put Demiral or Bonucci in the central defensive line. But Demiral, he played a big role in the qualifiers for the Euros. He's one of the leaders of the Turkish national team. So yeah, he's one of the biggest players in this team.
Yeah, and we can see that because he's made 10 appearances, having been a first team player, and I think he's made the most appearances out of everyone else in the team. Yep. And now moving on to the other center back, we have Çağlar Söyüncü from Leicester City, and you can tell us a lot.
Yeah, it's his breakthrough season. He started very good this season with Leicester. They are in the Champions League race right now, but in Turkey, he's as well a leader in this team. With Demiral, they have a very good partnership. They both are very strong, and yeah, Söyüncü is a very good player as well.
Yeah, and having maybe you can say only made 4 appearances in the national team, we saw him play some great matches. This guy, he's got great slide tackling, and he's also fast for a center back. So we see him chasing down the attacker and just cleanly tackling the ball away from him.
Yeah, and he plays, in the English Premier League. It's a very strong league, and he is one of the top defenders this season in there.
Yep, and now I want to move on to the defensive midfielder. We have Yokuşlu, a player from the La Liga. He plays for Celta de Vigo.
Yeah, and he plays a lot of matches for Celta, and he even scores. He plays very good passes. His passes are very good, and yeah.
Yeah, and if you're gonna have a national team that has 3 defenders in the back, it would be a great idea to have such a good defensive mid as Yokuşlu, just to support out the center backs in the back. And now moving on to the 2 center mids, we have the first one is Yazıcı. Yeah, and if I'm not wrong, I think he's actually gotten a transfer to Lille from Trabzonspor last season.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so he's another player that plays in the top 5 divisions in Europe. So they have a lot of quality players right now, and his value was 18 million, which is really good for such a player. And he's made 8 appearances, scored 1 goal, and given 1 assist. But now I want to move on to Tufan in the other center mid position.
Yeah, Ozan Tufan, he played in the previous Euro, in Euro 2016. Yeah, he didn't show a very good game, but then I think he improved. Now he is a better experienced player, and now I think Turkey can rely on him, and I think he also played a crucial role in Turkey for qualifying to the next Euros. That's going to be next year.
Yup, and now having gotten a little bit older, he's at the age of 25 right now, so this is his prime time. So he's made like 8 appearances and scored 1 goal, which is still really good. But then looking at his league statistics, he's made 29 appearances, scored 5 goals, and given 5 assists for Fenerbahce. So that's also really good.
Yeah.
And now moving on to the left mid position, we have Çalhanoğlu. Yeah, what can you say?
Çalhanoğlu, he plays in Milan. He's one of the favorite players of Gennaro Gattuso. Gattuso really likes him because Çalhanoğlu, he's a very good playmaker. He's a very good winger. Yeah, he has a very good, shooting from the distance.
Yeah.
Also, he has good passes. He played in Europe for a while. He was in Hamburg, in Bayer Leverkusen, and now he's in Milan. And yeah, he's one of the consistent players in Milan, and I think he's the best player in this Turkish national team.
I can see why you're saying that. You know, he's made 9 appearances, scored 1 goal, and given 2 assists. So he's clearly played a huge part in the national team. And you know, Çalhanoğlu has aged. We've known him for a long time now. We've seen him score beautiful goals in the Bundesliga, and he's now at the age of 26. And now moving on to the right mid position, we have Cengiz Ünder.
Yeah, Ünder plays for AS Roma, and he was a very good youngster like 2 years ago, but now I think he's a more developed player.
Yeah.
He also has a very good pace, and he's experienced. He plays in Serie A, same as Çalhanoğlu.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And you know, comparing this season, Ünder, he may be underperforming a little bit compared to last season, because last season he really had a good breakthrough season for Roma. We saw him score tons of goals, and he's only scored 3 goals this season. But he's also only made 17 appearances, which kind of backs that up. But for the national team, he's also managed to make 2 appearances, but scored 1 goal in them. So he has a 0.5 goal average per game.
Yeah.
And now moving on to the 2 strikers, we have Enes Ünal for one of the striking positions.
Yeah, he was also a very promising youngster. He played for Villarreal. If I'm not wrong, did he play for Man City?
Yes, he played for Man City before joining Villarreal.
Yeah, I think, he was in the academy of Manchester City. He didn't get to play in the starting lineups, but still, he's a very promising young player. But now he's not that young, but again, he can score goals. He's very quick, he's tall, and he has a good finishing as well.
Yeah, now having transferred over to Real Valladolid to get way more game time, we see him play 31 appearances, score 6 goals, and give 2 assists, which is really good. You know, he's developing more and more as a striker. And looking at the national team, he's only made 1 appearance but scored 2 goals in that, so that's really good.
Yeah, and then the next striker that we have is Burak Yilmaz. He's a veteran in this Turkey national team, and he's the captain. He scores the most of the goals, and yeah, the team really likes him, and he's a leader. But at one point of his career, he moved to China, but then he came back to Turkey again. And Burak Yilmaz is one of the top goal scorers in the Turkish league in the history. Yeah, he's one of the best strikers that Turkey had.
Yeah, and at the age of 34, he's made 22 appearances for Beşiktaş and scored 13 goals and given 7 assists. So, you know, he's one of the top players in that team.
Yeah, and he's been in the Turkish national team for a while. I remember him watching in most of the games where Turkey had their important matches in Euros, 2016 as well, 28. Yeah.
So, you know, he's just a really experienced player. And it's, you know, it's not an exaggeration to say, like, if we see him become the captain of the team.
Yeah, he is the captain of the team. But when we look at this Turkish national team, they have a very promising team as well. They have a good mix of young players and experienced older players. And in between, the players like 25, 26 years old. And we see most of these actual players play in the European leagues. Like you said, Yazıcı plays for Lille, for Demiral plays for Juventus, Söyüncü plays for Leicester, and so on. And yeah, and just 2 players are playing in their league. It's the goalkeeper and Burak Yilmaz. And in the European Championships, Turkey got a very tough group. They have Italy, Switzerland, and Wales in their group. And this is a group of death, maybe. Yeah, but Italy is strong. Switzerland has a very good team as well. Wales, they have Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, they have Ethan Ampadu and a couple of youngsters as well, and Giggs is coaching Wales. So
you know, it's not just hard for Turkey, it's going to be tough for all the teams in that group. And Italy will probably see them come out on top because the class that they have in their team. But I can see Wales and Switzerland putting up a really good fight for Turkey.
Yeah, but I believe that Turkey have enough quality to go through this group. They might get a draw with Italy and then get a couple of wins against Wales or Switzerland.
Yep.
So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen in this group. But thank you very much for your suggestions. Do a video like this about Turkey. And,
and we can possibly turn this into a continuous video after video. You guys just need to request us, comment down below what's going to be the next national team that you want us to do, and we'll gladly do it.
Yeah, and this is going to be very good because Euros are next summer, and we can just preview how our team is going to line up and see what's going to happen. So guys, let's get 100 likes for this video, and then we will continue doing this again and again. And make sure you comment what team do you want us to do in the next video.
Thank you guys for watching this video. It was Zonal Marking with you again. And if you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, we'd love if you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on the future upcoming videos like this.
Yes, of course, subscribe to our channel and make sure you follow us on Instagram. As I said in the beginning, now we have an Instagram profile page. And yeah, thank you for all the DMs, for your suggestions to make a video like this about Turkish national team. And yeah, thank you very much. Have a nice day. All for football
and football for all.
Goodbye.